Usual Suspects is a movie that came out on the 15th of September, 1995. It's rated R. Its running time is 1 hour and 46 minutes. The category is crime, mystery, / thriller. It stars Kevin Spacey, Gabriel Byrne, Stephen Baldwin, Benicio del Toro, and Kevin Pollak. The director is Bryan Singer. The writer is Christopher McQuarrie. I would like to begin by saying thank you to my friend Rena, also known as Maybe It's Mandela, for letting me know about these changes. She found these, and we have not seen anyone cover this topic before. She wanted me to make the video, so I said only if we research this together. So we did. We would like to show you how the quote is changing. So watch this and listen to what is said about the poet that this quote originated from.
Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Quotes 21. This quote I found out, I didn't originally know, but this was by Charles Baudelaire, maybe? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it quite right. He was a French poet. The first time I heard this, though, was from a movie, way back in the 1990s. But let me give you the quote first. The finest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he does not exist. It was rephrased in the movie The Usual Suspects by the character Kaiser Soze, played by Kevin Spacey, who today is having his own problems of scandals. The only difference in the movie is they exchanged the word finest for greatest. So in the movie, they said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he does not exist.
A few days ago, Rena told me about the famous quote in The Usual Suspects had changed. Here is the way we remember the quote as it is said by the character Verbal Kent, played by Kevin Spacey. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he doesn't exist. That's the way we remember it. And here is what it changed to. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. I don't remember that. I could not believe when she told me that this had changed. I had looked at this quote about 2 months ago to check to see if it had changed, and at that time it had not. My way of thinking was, if any quote is going to change with these evil changes happening, that this would be the quote to change because it deals with the devil. I will say this again. These changes are pure evil, no doubt about it. The devil is real and he is loose. These changes are ramping up and we're seeing them all over the place. I will say, while researching, we had some of our images change on us to the new way, and this should not be possible. This shouldn't be happening. So the quote changing is one change for this movie. The other change is the title. For me, the movie was called Usual Suspects, not The Usual Suspects. So Rena and I talked, and she agreed that there was no "the" in the title of the movie for her either. She has another title she remembers, and I will let her tell you what it was for her. Take a look and let us know what you remember.
Hey, it's Rena. I wanted to give my verbal memory of how I remember the quote being. And for me it was, greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he doesn't exist. But it didn't, and we're very curious to see how many of you will remember doesn't, didn't, did not, does not, how many memories surround this. I'm sure we'll have quite a few, hopefully. The other part that I wanted to talk about, and I don't know how many people will remember this, but when I was first researching this, I was like, I thought it was unusual suspects, but without the, of course, but it's usual suspects. And so maybe it's just because you don't expect the usual suspect. That's what I thought. But then I was looking for residue and I was finding people calling it unusual suspects. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm not so off here. So that is another one that I'm curious of how many of you guys will remember unusual suspect. Even if you've seen it places, like, let us know, because, yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty weird. Thank you for watching.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
All right, you all know the drill.
And that was how it started. The 5 of us being brought in on a trumped-up charge to be leaned on by half-wits.
Number 1, step forward.
It didn't make sense that I'd be there. I mean, these guys were hardcore hijackers.
Answer my question. Can you hear me in the back? Hello?
What the cops never figured out, and what I know now, was that these men would never break. Never bend over for anybody.
You gonna charge me, dickhead?
You don't put guys like that into a room together.
Let's get back to that truck, asshole.
Who knows what can happen?
I figure we owe it to ourselves to salvage a little dignity. Me and Fenster heard about a little job.
My employer requires your services, gentlemen. 1 job, 1 day's work. Very dangerous.
Close quarters, 10, maybe 20 men. Anybody goes in there is not coming out alive. Is there a problem?
I want to know why. 27 men died on that pier. For what looks to be $91 million worth of dope that wasn't there.
He says his life's in danger. He saw the devil.
Kaiser Soze!
Did he mention Kaiser Soze?
Who? Who's Kaiser Soze? Press 20. Do it now.
There is no Kaiser Soze.
You never knew. That was his power.
He was in the harbor, killing many men.
You mention his name again, I'll kill you right now.
How do you shoot the devil in the back?
A gift from Mr. Soze.
You got my whole life in here. Everything I've ever done since I was 18.
Everybody I've ever worked with or that time with.
Keaton always said, I don't believe in God, but I'm afraid of him.
He's here.
Well, I believe in God. And the only thing that scares me is Kaiser Soze. And like that, he's gone.